Picture Rochester, New York, in the early 1970s, a quiet, unassuming city, on the brink of a series of crimes that would haunt it for decades. This is the story of the Alphabet Murders, a case that remains one of America's most chilling unsolved mysteries. It all started on November 16, 1971. 10-year-old Carmen Colon went missing after running an errand. 2 days later, her small body was discovered in the rural town of Churchville, just outside Rochester. The community was horrified, but they had no idea this was just the beginning. A year and a half later, on April 2, 1973, another young girl vanished. 11-year-old Wanda Wakovich was last seen near a deli after heading out to the grocery store. Her body was found the next day by a state trooper in a rest area along a highway in Webster. Panic began to set in as a terrifying pattern started to emerge. The killer's signature was becoming clear. Both victims were young girls with alliterative names, Carmen Colon, Wanda Wakovich. Both were found in towns that started with the same letter as their last names, Churchville and Webster. The press and the public dubbed the unseen redditor the Alphabet Killer. Then, on November 26, 1973, the killer struck again. 11-year-old Michelle Mienza disappeared while walking home from school. Her body was discovered 2 days later in the town of Mastodon. The pattern was complete and undeniable. Michelle Mienza, found in the double initial signature was confirmed, sending a wave of unprecedented fear through every family in the region. The Rochester police, alongside state and county investigators, launched one of the largest manhunts in New York history. The task force was massive, with detectives working around the clock. They had maps covered in pins, tracking sightings and potential routes. They interviewed hundreds of people, chasing down every possible lead, no matter how small. They explored connections to other similar crimes across the country. The pressure was immense. Parents were terrified, children were kept inside, and the entire community lived under a shadow of fear, wondering who would be next. The investigation focused on several persons of interest over the years. One notable individual was a family member of one of the victims, who had a questionable alibi but was never charged due to lack of direct evidence. Another was a notorious serial killer active in California who had Rochester ties, but his involvement was also never proven. Despite the tireless efforts, every lead eventually went cold. The files grew thicker, but a solid suspect remained elusive. There were tantalizing clues, like fibers and cat hairs found on the victims, but the forensic technology of the time couldn't provide the definitive link they needed. Decades have passed since the last murder. The little girls, Carmen, Wanda, and Michelle, would be women in their 60s today. The investigators who dedicated years of their lives to this case have since retired or passed away. Yet, the Alphabet Murders remain officially unsolved. The files are still open. A cold case that serves as a haunting reminder of the evil that once stalked the quiet streets of Rochester. The identity of the Alphabet Killer is a ghost, a question mark that lingers in the annals of American true crime, leaving behind a legacy of fear, frustration, and unanswered questions. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in more deep dives into historical mysteries, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video.